Wow, check out this fabric. What do you make with a fabric like this? Wow. Well, I see a new skirt made from my favorite pattern. A new skirt for New Year's Eve. That's what I see. I'll show you what I'm gonna make. Coming up. Hey, it's Chanel here bringing you weekly videos to help you get better and better with your fashion sewing. So be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on a new video. So, wow, I found this fabric in Nashville over a year ago. I found they were having this huge sale at this fabric store called Textile Fabrics, and beautiful fabrics that are made for fashion sewing. And oh my gosh, they just had a plethora of fabrics, and this was one I just could not pass up on. Don't even remember how much it was. I don't think it was crazy expensive, but probably in the $60 range, something like that. But they're having this big 40% off sale, and I think I just got a yard of this. I don't even know. It's pretty wide. It's about a yard. They went a little over so that they could even it out. But this is what it looks like, and it's just a pleather strip sewn on netting fabric. How do they do this? Look at this pattern. It's all even. The stitches are in the back. You can see some of the stitches are kind of wonky in the back, but it looks good in the front. And they had a little needle problem in a few spots, but wow. I had it and I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. And then I was looking at it one day and I was thinking, I have that rosy skirt that I make all the time. You've seen, probably, you know me, you've seen these videos. This is my favorite skirt. It's the rosy. It's a square circle skirt. The pattern looks like this. I actually have it, when I was draping it, I did it on muslin, and I actually use the muslin a lot to cut with that. So it's basically this with the circle cut out here for the, and there's like a yoke. Actually, I have the skirt right here. So right here, this is one I made. It's got a pleather yoke, and then you can see the square right here. And this is a patchwork skirt. I made this skirt last year, and I love wearing this with boots. This is where the skirt got its name, the Rosie, because this looks like Rosie the Riveter to me, because it looks kind of like grease, mechanic grease. I don't know why, but so I actually softened it up. I put lace in there, and then I had this like eyelet black fabric, and it all started with these patches. But I did like a patchwork, and then did the pattern, and one of my favorite skirts. And this is probably my favorite skirt. It was a fabric I found in Atlanta. It's a silk Georgette, and it's really light and airy, and I feel thin in this. It drapes really well. So, sometimes you can actually use the same pattern, different fabrics, and you're like, this just doesn't work here. So, but that was one that I've been trying to, like, when something works, you gotta make more of them, right? So I'm thinking you really can't cut this fabric up, because then you lose all the design. And then I was laying that pattern down thinking, could just cut it, but you can't. So this is the one end of it right here, and it has the netting, and then right here I have to cut this really straight right here. And the problem is this pattern, so the width of the pattern is perfect for the pattern right here. So there's going to be a fold right here, and then it ends up here, and then there's lines that I made on this muslin, because when I do the 2-layer skirt, I put one layer 2 inches shorter than the other, and then actually then when this somehow, I didn't study physics, but somehow when this drapes here, this peak right here goes 4 inches down, so it's like 2, and then it goes 4. I don't know how that works, but trying to figure the math out on that one, but oh well. The problem is this fabric ends up out here, 6 inches past this 2-inch mark, meaning so that this would be, and it needs to be like a square for it to drape the right way. But I am going to just cut it the length it is, 6 inches past, and then the other part will be 2 inches. and to see how it drapes. I might come up with a whole new design, because I can always go back in and cut it later. And I also thought I was just going to cut it, but then I have, so this one part right here I can cut, and it has a perfect, like, nice design right there. But the other side right here, so where they cut it in the store, it's kind of it's kind of not nice. Actually, this side is nicer than the other side. I was looking at it. I mean, I can even it out, but I got little part right here, and then there's like a little sliver of that right there. So I was thinking, well, I'm going to have to hem it, because you don't want to roll hem it or nothing. But I have this ribbon left over from the dream coat that I sewed and did a video on that last year. Boy, that was a doozy project. Oh my gosh. But I have this like satin ribbon with little flecks in it, and I thought, oh my god, look how perfect that is. So I think I'm just going to sew this. I'm going to bind the edge hem. I wanted to see how just the ribbon on the front part, I don't know if you've seen this skirt, you're probably going, what is she talking about? Right here is this front part, so it would be like this part here, and then there's this side, and just leave this side raw. No, because it has that really cool design. I'm just going to cut it and then see. Yeah, that's what I got to do. So another reason I was putting this off, because I didn't have the right underlining, and I was shopping. I found a Georgette. I wanted it really light, and I actually found a really great pleather for the yoke, but I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to do a cotton, because it's really nice and black. I have my favorite cotton here, which is Supima, but I put that next to it. And this is like another Supima kind, but it's a tad heavier. I don't know what it is. But it's also blacker. It's got a more of a brown black. This one's a little more of a blue black. And so I think I'm going to go with this piece here. I only need, like, how much my yokes take? Not much, half a yard. So I'm going to put this as the yoke. It's just a nice cotton sateen. And I'm going to line it with an ambiance lining, so that it's trying to get this light. But the problem is, what I was having was finding the right underlayer here, and it turns out this has been in my stash all along. This is just a sparkle Georgette. It's a polyester, and I thought, this would be kind of pretty under that, and the sparkles show through. And the only problem is it's a little sticky, so I think this should be okay, but I'm just going to give it a whirl. And it only takes 1.25 yards, so I wouldn't be wasting a lot if it didn't work out, and I can always switch it up. That's how I'm going to do it. So it sparkles like that. It'll stick out a little bit here. Even that ribbon on the end might look really cool with it. I have to just do this step by step and see how it goes. So yeah, that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start cutting this out. Let's take it step by step. I gotta wear it for New Year's Eve. Hopefully I get it done. All right, I'm gonna get started. All right, I'm looking at this fabric. There's definitely, which is so cool, this center part right here. And it doesn't, it's not a repeat pattern along here. I know there's like an M looking thing here that's a repeat on there, but this is right in the center. It's the only one. So that's definitely gonna be the center front and the center back. So I have to fold that, and that tells me which way this pattern is going to go for sure. I gotta get that really squared up, and then I have to cut the part that's a little scary. I think I'm going to start with, they're not exactly even here either, but yeah, so get this all squared up the best I can. So this is where I cut it at the fabric store, so that's not even. I will have to go in here and even this out. And then I lay this pattern out here. And there's my centers. Right there, and that's easy to tell where that center is. It's a deep V. And then I wanted this line to come up right here on the 2, so we're actually good there. And this is how far this goes over. It's supposed to be right here. So I have, look, and this is even a little off. So I'm gonna have to tweak this and double check, get it cut the right way. Okay, I think I'm ready to cut. What I did was I put little chalk marks. This seems to be, this one's just a tad longer than here, but 6 inches from the end. That's where this 2-inch mark is here. And then this one is right on here. I'm gonna have to come in here after I cut this and trim that and get that even. And then a 6 inches at the end. And now I have to cut this circle out. That's gonna be the painful part. And I put a pin here right on the center. It seems to be right on that peak there, so I think we're good. And then this is my center front right on that peak there. And I usually put notches in here, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to put notches there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, I think I'll have to mark it with something. I think I'll start to get chalk in here. I usually do little notches, but I don't want it to tear, so I'm just gonna do that, and then I'm gonna lose my, be able to tell right there. Okay, I'm just gonna cut that circle right here. Oh boy, here we go. I hate doing this. But then again, it was just sitting in my closet, right? Gotta use it up. I bought it to make something with it. There, look at that. What can I make with that? That's so cool. There's that center part. Kind of looks like those tiki guys. There's his eyes. Oh my gosh, I could use his nose. Oh well, anyway. Okay, so that's all I have to do there, and then I gotta get, all right, all trimmed, cut. Now I gotta cut the black, this one. I have this all laid out. I could use this to cut that circle out. Stick it. There we go. Use it as a pattern. Yeah, so this is purposely longer. Now I've messed this up here. I'm gonna have this exact, because then this will affect this one. This is the longer side. And then I have this other black long also, just in case, because it might look funny if this is short and that's long. So all I gotta do is cut this circle. Okay, so I'm gonna cut that. This one's not as scary, because if it's not right, I got more fabric. Okay, and cut a little notch here. Oof. Okay. Then I'm gonna mark. I'm actually gonna put some chalk marks where this goes, so I can have it as a reference in case I need to tear stuff off and kind of know where it's at. Taylor's crayon chalks, these just steam right off. Now what I want to do, I'm going to take this, I'm going to put this right here and start pinning it so I don't lose any of this here. I don't like clips, so that's not going to work, but I should use, I have my silk pins around here somewhere. Just going to base this right here, make sure that my notches right there. I like to hem these separately, but I gotta do ribbon work on it, so I just don't know what I'm gonna do. So I actually gotta hem this after I put it together, because I usually just hem these before. Okay, that's the fun of this skirt. You just hem the squares. It's really easy, and then you connect the whole yoke together. But on this case, I just want to connect it all, see what I want to do. I put pins in the netting area here. I'm going to go baste this on, see what it looks like with all the layers together. Okay, have these basted together. This is how this looks. It has a lot of black on there. I don't know, this has gotten heavy. Wow, I wasn't expecting it to be that heavy. How'd that happen? This fabric is heavy. All right, on to the yoke. This black cotton fabric. The black shadings are so different. The other one, my favorite one, is a little on the bluer side, and this looks better on the blacker side. Wonder what I cut here. It looks like a bias binding that we do in our school here. So I'm going to put one right here. Cut that out. Okay, there's that. Cut another one. And then I'm going to cut a lining also. And I think the lining I'm going to use is this ambiance right here. It's even the different color. I thought, why not? I don't have this in ambiance. This is a rayon lining. It feels so good. So I'm going to line just that yoke part in there because it will be nice and soft. If your clothes are comfortable, you wear them. I finished cutting this and on to making my skirt. But I love to put bindings between the layers like I did in the rosy skirt here. I put a cream colored lining there. I just like the way it breaks it up and kind of makes it blend all together instead of just like a seam. So I'd love to put the ribbon in here, but I don't know if I'm going to have enough ribbon to go around the hip and then all the hems, and I might put the ribbon on both edges here. I don't know, maybe not, because it might be a little too strong. That would be good, but actually putting the ribbon on is an easier hem because you just have to roll the fabric up like the opposite way, and then you sew the ribbon on top of it, and then you don't even see like the hem part. It's really cool. Yeah, I am gonna go home and think about this because cutting this out was stressful. I need a break. I think I'm gonna pick this back up tomorrow. Okay, back for another day of sewing, but I only have an hour. I have a class coming up soon, so I just gotta squeeze in the ribbon part and making the yoke. Just sometimes you can get stuff sewn like that if you just do little increments. You're like, okay, today I'm just going to do the yoke. I did a whole blog post on that, so you might want to check it out on my website, Future Fashion Designers. So I've been thinking about this ribbon all night, and I'm like wondering if I had enough, and because I don't know if Hobby Lobby is going to have more of this, but turns out I have just enough to cover that first layer, which is the most important, I suppose. And then I have this one other piece left that goes on the yoke part here. I have the black yoke here and then the ribbon dividing it. Now when you do ribbon to use as a binding, this ribbon's only, I think it's like 5/8 of an inch, not sure. I like my binding to just kind of poke out, like usually 1/2 inch to 3/4. So the ribbon I'm going to baste it exactly 1/2 inch down, and then if I sew the yoke onto this exactly 5/8 of an inch down, it'll be 1/8 of an inch tucked in here, and then the ribbon will poke out exactly 1/2 inch, right? That's the math. Never is perfect, but get it as perfect as I can. So I'm going to go baste this on, and then I'm going to construct that yoke, put it on there, and see how it looks before I go and hem all this, because I got this on. This is all I had left. That was close. So I have it basted exactly 1/2 inch down. Now this doesn't have any give here, so I might have to anchor it down in a few spots so it doesn't roll up like that. Just see how it all works out. All right, now I gotta make the yoke. So I'm just gonna pin these side seams here, match up the raw edges, and they're already pinked. I'm gonna go and sew them 5/8. Have my yokes ready to go, nice and pressed. Looks really great. Got my good marks on there. Now I have to attach it to the skirt part. And what I'm gonna do is I should have basted that with white on the bottom, with the bobbin, and then I would have seen the stitch much easier. But I was afraid if I missed it, then you'd kind of see the white on there. So what I'm going to do is follow this black stitch right here. So it should be exactly 1/2 inch if I sewed it right, and I can see through it that it's just attaching that. So if I just sew it right on a hair past that as I'm sewing around it, I should get it right where I want it. So I'm going to center back, and then so I can just pick one of these, turn it right side out, make sure I have, it's hard to tell on my skirt, especially the the waist is almost the same size as the hip part. So I'm going to put it here, find that center back here and here, yep, and then I'll start pinning. I'm going to use my silk pins. I'm going to pin in the direction I'm going to pull, right here, and I have to just go around it and sew it on the inside so I can see that seam. And I start with my side seam matchup, and then this other one here, and these match up here, and put a lot of pins in this. Okay, have it all pinned. Now I'm going to go and sew it right close to the edge. Okay, have the yoke connected. That was easy. I just followed the stitch. Got it pretty much, I kind of sewed on top of the stitch. It just maybe a little hair over, so why not, right? But it turned out wonderful. I really love this ribbon connection in here because this ribbon has little gold flecks and it blends this cream color together. I love how bindings blend these two pieces together. So now I need to get the lining in here and the elastic before I determine, because I got to get it on. So before I see how this looks, before I hem it and how I'm really going to tackle this hem. But one thing, it sounds, has a little noise, so walking it sounds a little plasticky. It'll be like, Anyway, don't wear it on a TV show because you'll be like walking out like that. So got that done. That was good. And now I'm going to come back tomorrow and finish the other part of it. Back another day. I only have about 45 minutes this time. So I think what I'm going to do on my skirt here is I marked, I was kind of looking at this in the mirror, and I think I might go a little bit shorter on the yoke. I measured it down an inch right there. I think I'm just going to chop off an inch, which means I have to secure these parts here. Although I think I'm going to just baste the lining in. I'll put a base there and then cut it. And then I think it won't open up, hopefully, because I hate going over there and reinforcing the edges. So I think all I have time for today is I'm going to take the ribbon. So I took off all the ribbon there and I added, what did I was measuring, I think I have, I hope I do now, exactly enough or really close to it. So I added, just kind of sewed this together, and I'm just going to start and go all the way around the edges of this layer right here. I'm going to try and do like a nice edging when I get to the corners, so it'll be like a square like this. And then I just got to kind of see, I'll start like on a side here, and then I think I'm just going to do like a fold over. I was playing around with it. It was working pretty good. I had to figure it out. Just want to do a nice fold over and continuous run. That's why I'm going to start kind of up here so that all the corners have the same fold. I think I go this way. And then from there I have to just try it on. I think I'll even try it on before I put the elastic on to make sure I want to do the 1 inch, because sometimes when you raise it, then the hip part doesn't fit right. So I just want to see, I don't know, it feels like it needs to not have so much yoke on this skirt. So I'm just going to stitch that, and then I have a class coming in. All right, on to the sewing machine. Wow, this is almost done. That was a lot easier than I was thinking it was going to be. The ribbon went on really well. I had to do a little press at the end because ribbon, sometimes when you sew it, it has that little curly thing. It was trying to stretch out my netting here, but it seemed to do pretty good. The peaks came out really well. Just folded them and pinned it and then went over it and reversed it. That's how it looks. So that's that layer on there. Now I need to try it on, because all I've done is kind of hold it up in the mirror. And I'm gonna baste in the lining, and then I'm gonna baste it at an inch down. I guess that's what I'm gonna do. I am gonna definitely take off an inch. I think that's just the way it's gonna be, because I can really tell that this yoke is a little longer. I don't know. The pattern is, this is so bold. I don't want it to kind of be hanging too low. But if I bring it too high, then it makes you look hippier. So it's a fine line. Anyway, so I'll try this on, and determine what I'm going to do about these long peaks. I'll either keep them there, or I'm going to pin up this like 2 inches here, and then that means I have to kind of take that square hem and dip it up a little bit, and which sometimes makes it curl, and then it's not like a nice pretty hem. So if you can square it like that, the hem is all nice and straight. So, well, just gotta try it little increments at a time. All right, so I'm gonna finish that up, take this home, try it on, go get a new haircut tomorrow. Well, not a new haircut, just a trim. And she always cuts it really short, so it's gonna be like this. Oh well. Okay, back another day to finish my skirt. Tried it on at home last night, and wow, I love it. It fits perfect. Little tweak on the hem, and oh my God, I love it. So the waist, I brought it up 1 inch. I haven't cut it off yet because I wanted to try it first. I'm just going to chop that off at that baseline and put my rollover elastic right here. So this is my favorite stuff of all time, and I just kind of grip it on and zigzag it right there, and waistband's done. Oh, so this has actually I have this in the white. It's the fold over elastic. I'll leave a link below for that, because oh my gosh, the fabric store over here, they're always sold out in the black, so I just get on the Amazon link and get it. I have a video out on this, on how to do this whole elastic. It's pretty simple, and watch the whole video, and then it's easier for you. And yeah, so now all I have to do is hem this, and I pinned it up. I think I marked, so it's the square like this. The sides are longer, so I'm going to chop that off 2 inches, and I'm going to keep or was it the other side? Now I can't think about it. Which one was it? Oh, it's the front. Yes. Okay, it's the front. So I got the sides. I'm going to keep those as they are. It's the fronts right here that are longer, so I'm chopping that off 2 inches, and then I'll hem the whole thing 1 inch. But I'm also going to, so I put the pins right here, just chopped it off 2 inches. I guess it's because it was a rectangle by the time because the fabric was, I didn't want to cut the fabric, so it ended up being a rectangle. I could have cut the fabric, because then I put this whole border on there, but I wanted, really the skirt is so much about this print that I wanted to use all of it. So I'm going to do the 2 inches, and then on the sides, for somehow with the physics, those sides really hang longer when you lengthen them. I don't understand that part, but it is what it is. So it does it on all my skirts. So the sides, I'm actually going to blend it. It actually ended up working out really well, because I think when I sew this, it's not going to be ripply as long as I blend it. So I'm going to go here, blend it to 2 inches in the middle, and then do the other side. I think that's going to work out really well. So I just got to cut this, measure all the sides, or just those, I guess there's 4 of these sides, measure that, and then hem it all up 1 inch, and then the hem will be done. Then there was one other problem when I tried this skirt on. Actually, that was the only problem. I was wearing this for about 5 minutes, and because I was like, oh, this feels so good on the top. I have that ambiance lining up here, and it feels so good. And it's comfortable, but the tops of my thighs were itching really bad, and it was from this fabric. It was rubbing on the top of my thighs, and it's not even on the back side of this, but it's just it's a crepe fabric, and it was just so now I have to line the skirt part. So I already have this part lined, and this is one of the only times I went ahead and hand stitched the lining to the yoke part, because I thought, I know how to do this. I'll just line, I was actually sitting there talking to my students. I was hand sewing it while I was doing it, and showing them actually how to hand stitch, which was a good thing. So now I have to take it out, which I just clip a thread and pull it, but yeah, it was a good lesson, I guess. So now I have to line this skirt part, and how am I going to do that? I don't want to do another layer of the square. So what I thought about doing, where's my pattern? I have the Betty skirt. It's just a little A-line. It uses the same yoke pattern as the Rosie, which is the square. And I have the pattern right here. So it's center front, and that's it. So I'm just going to make it, even if I'm looking at that, even a little shorter than that. And I'm going to use the same lining, even though it's the total wrong color. But this fabric is a little on the transparent side so that it'll still give the lightness to go through there. I think it'll help. And you probably won't see it, and probably won't be dancing too much in it. So sometimes when you're dancing, the linings will show, you know. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a little lining under there. Got a little bit of work to do on here, not much. The hem will take a little time. And all right, I'm going to get busy. I'll show you how it looks. Okay, to start, I'm just going to mark on the fold with a chalk where I'm going to take those pins, or when I'm going to take that up and take these pins out. And then I had marked on this side already 2 inches because I wanted to see where that was going. And I think that'll just be my cut line. So what I got to do is get this side even with the other side. So I'm going to fold it in half here. I think I have 2 inches there. And then I just mark all this, I just duplicate this marking on the other side. And actually while it's here, I'll mark it and then I can cut it right here too. There, I'm just going to go a little bit like this, make sure nothing's under there. Because that would be bad, put a hole in there after all that. Okay, it's cut now, can't go back. Okay. Now, see, now it's not a straight hem, but so one part of this is going to be a little bit of a curved hem, and then this part will be a straight hem. So, actually, I guess I think I have to check if I'm cutting that. I don't think I'm cutting that part off. Boy, I better check all this before I go doing that again. Okay, let's see how this looks. I can see. Okay, there's the center. Right here, you can tell by how the pattern goes. So I got it about 4 inches here, and then it goes here, and it's not as long right here. I still have to cut off this other selvage right here. There. And then I think my side seams, which is right here, the side seam here, is shorter. That's why I cut off a lot on that front, because this is the 2 inches it's supposed to be right here. And then it looks like this, so I've reduced that longer edge here, and then this isn't as dramatic because this was way out here, and then it just wasn't even. So now it looks a little more blended. Oops. And then the front, see, it's still, that's about 4 inches where the sides are 2 inches, but it blends and goes narrower right there. So it looks good. I think I got it there. So now I'm just going to hem this up 1 inch, just fold over it once and then tuck it under and just do a basic hem. And then this is where it curls. I think it's going to land pretty good. And this has got polyester in it, so if I press it and let it cool each time, it will mold. And I'm just going to do my little peaks right there. Okay, and then I can put the lining into the skirt and finish the waist. All right, have the whole hem done. Woohoo! I do have to go through here and clip all these threads and check all that stuff. But now I need to add the lining into here. So what I did was I cut my Betty pattern, got that all cut, and I sewed the side seams and I hemmed it. I just did a zigzag. I rolled it up and zigzagged it. So yeah. Now I have to add it to the side here, and then I have to repress that. I think I turn it this way, yeah. And then I have to clip this all off. Oh my gosh. So I just have to pull it like that. I could probably just pull one thread and then snap it there and pull it all off right there. All that work. Actually, it really doesn't take that long. Everybody thinks hand sewing takes a long time, and it really doesn't. So, okay, so that's there. Now I'm going to go and press this seam down and then sew this to that, make it one continuous little skirt. All right, have the lining on, just stitched it up here, and wow, all lined. Now it won't itch me so bad. Then I have to start at the side seams, and I'm going to put some pins right here, and I just anchor this down so it stays in place, and this feels so good, and it'll be nice and comfortable. Just anchor those down. Okay, a little bit of give. Now all I have to do to finish this skirt is I'm going to chop this off right here and put my fold over elastic on it. Okay, now I have to cut this extension off. I'm going to cut it right at this line right here. Okay, that's done. Now I got to find my centers again. So side seam to side seam, I just cut them off. I should have marked them. And go like this, find that one. Ooh, there's a little trace of it there. And then the center right here. That's important when you're putting this elastic on because you work in quarters. So now this elastic folds this way. You can tell the right from the wrong side. I'm going to make sure, make that up. I'm just going to go and stitch right here to get a loop. Then I find the center front and then the side seams right here. That's on the center, yep. And then I also don't remember which one was my center back. Actually, I do know because I always put the bias or the ribbon on the back of there. So then this right here has to stretch and fit this. I made this elastic a little tighter than usual because the skirt is heavy. So I noticed when some of the skirts are heavy, this doesn't want to stay up. So if I make it a little tighter, it'll stay up. So I'm just going to go quarter to quarter, like this, a side seam, to center back, and then I have to stitch this in a zigzag right here as I'm pulling it, and then it's that simple. Put this on the center front. I keep the pins in there as I'm going around, and that's it. Okay, I'm going to go and put this elastic on. Skirt is done. It looks so beautiful. Wow, that is quite a skirt. All because of this fabric. This fabric is just so cool. I remember when I found it, I was like, oh, I just love this, but what would you do with it? You can't really make seams in it and all that. That's why I just love this skirt pattern, the rosy. I'll actually put the link down below, so if you ever want to make the rosy skirt, there I'll put a PDF. I know I have it in large and extra large. I'll see if I can get the small and medium size done too, and just get a pattern for yourself and try this skirt. You're gonna love it. There's just so many different variations that you can do. I don't know if you've seen my other videos before. I've made this skirt. I should count how many of these rosy skirts I have. So I've just done them in all different styles. I'm actually writing a book on skirts, and this is one of the ones I'm going to have in there, and just show all the variations. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and I'll get you some pictures probably before New Year's Eve. Yeah, because I want to wear it on New Year's Eve. So yeah, but I'll get some pictures of this of me in this, and don't forget to subscribe. See you next